This is Hernan for Mas Grill, and you are listening to my good friends Tim and Kim, Best in Sports.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Oh, can you hear headphones? Okay, let me just check 1 2.
Yep.
Check. No, you good. Got some headphones.
It's good.
All right. But
I knew they'd have to do something. We'll talk about
I Love Beach Music is all about being good to you, being good to me, because we love it. Feeling good. No.
Downstairs, the daddy's all-star joint. They've got a jukebox that pulls the toy. The vice is nice, it stays in the back all day. When the nighttime comes, hey, there's this cat down there that makes a bad kind of soup. I'll come around studying my luck to my shoot coop. Cecil gives me coffee and he won't never take my coin. I say, got $30 in my pocket. What you doing? I holler, come on, Cecil, take $1. Come on, Cecil, take $10. But I finally get up into a whole bunch of big ones, and you're acting like I'm damn champion. You know, only underwriters on the boulevard. They got the barefoot cruise when it's 40 weight hard. They look particularly deadbeats, permanently pale. Cecil pick up his butcher knife and he waves it at the jail. And the kids say, I ain't got no dough, I just want some OJ. I said, don't look at me, 'cause he was looking my way. Well, Cecil waits upon him, some juice and some green, and the kid walks over and puts a quarter in a pinball machine, and he said, come on, Cecil, give me $1. Come on, Cecil, give me 5. I'm in a halfway house on a one-way street. Ooh, and I'm a quarter past slipping down. Talk about your people in a one-way. Talk about your people till your hair turns gray. Sister's in a mustard, she loves to walk the puppy. Like pickles in the radish, she never gets enough. Hershey milkshake steaming on a stick with a hard-land sandwich. Oh, let us get sick. It's not because I'm dirty, it's not because I'm clean, not because I kiss the boys behind the magazines. Hey, boys, how about the fight? Here comes Ricky with the girl on tight. She don't know your name, she knows what you got from your matchy ball to the chicken in the pot, chicken in the pot, chicken in the pot, chicken downstairs and get a star joint. Got a jukebox that goes to toy. Big old snappy dealers who make your beer bow bap in your IV door. Yeah. You can't break the rules until you know how to play the game. You just want to have a little fun, keep it to my name. Keep your feet in the street. The toes are long, but keep your business in your pocket, Mr. Where it belongs. Come on, Cecil, take $1.
It's a CSA-sanctioned Shag Contest, October 21st at the Shag Shack in Augusta, Georgia. No bar, it's all BYOB. Reserved seats for sponsors. Tickets now are only $10 for spectators, but there are only 60 to be sold. Tables and chairs are first come, first served. Juniors, amateurs, novice, and pros will be competing. That's October 21st at the Shag Shack. Learn more from Nathan Kite at 706-564-4861. Corey Luchin and the Travelin' Blues Band are homegrown and hot with their new EP, a six-pack of blues, beach, and funk.
It ain't what you do, but baby, how you do it.
You'll find the Travelin' Blues Band on iTunes, Google Play, and CD Baby, playing 200 nights a year already. Book these road warriors at their Facebook page for Corey Luchin. That's CORYLUETJEN, the Travelin' Blues Band.
What's Shelby's best-kept secret? It's the Hub Cafe. Tucked away inside Medical Arts Pharmacy, the Hub has delicious home-cooked meals with wonderful meat entrees and the largest selection of veggies in town. Daily, off the grill, choose from hamburger, hot dogs, homemade chicken, and egg salad sandwiches, as well.
Check.
NASCAR's America's Tailgate Party, Friday mornings at 10 a.m. from the Motor Racing Network and right here at Big O Country, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia.
Coyote, coyote, coyote. That tractor's all you talk about anymore.
But honey, my Coyote can...
Yes, your coyote can clear fields, move mulch, mow the lawn, and...
Honey.
Yes, dear.
I don't have the problem talking about the Coyote. You do.
I know, but it's such a great tractor.
That's what I've been trying to say.
Yes, but it sounds better coming from me.
Visit www.kioti.com.
Your Coyote dealer is Weston Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail.
Coyote, run ahead of the pack.
There's no one like you, and this fall, Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with a new open bangle, beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now, and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry, available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia, online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com.
Here's what's up in Cleveland, Gaston, and Lincoln counties. Brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Big O Country, WCSL, and The Boss, WOHS and WLON. Hospice of Cleveland County is having a chicken dinner fundraiser on Friday, October 27th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the American Red Cross Building in Shelby or Testa Family Hospice House in Kings Mountain. It's $12 per plate. For details, call 704-751-3573. Boger City United Methodist Church Pumpkin Patch opens September 30th through October 31st, 7 days a week on the front lawn of the church. Proceeds benefit youth missions. Cost of a pumpkin, gourd, or chrysanthemum range from 50 cents to $50. And that's What's Up, brought to you by the What's Up Shopper. Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM. The Boss, WOHS 1390 AM and 1015 FM. And WLON 1050 AM. For more information, go to whatsupshopper.com.
Now you can earn 1,000 points for every night you stay at the Hampton Inn. It's part of the Hampton Inn's Grand Nights promotion. Your points will add up to unforgettable experiences. Find out more by visiting your nearest Hampton Inn. You'll always come back with a tale to share. Start turning points into stories worth sharing. Visit the Hampton Inn on Remount Road in Gastonia and start earning your points today.
We have a couple of isolated showers rolling around the area this evening. Those will give way to partly cloudy skies overnight as some slightly cooler and less humid air filters in. We really won't notice it tonight, though, lows in the lower 70s. Tomorrow, though, we should, especially for the afternoon, a high around 80 with partly cloudy skies. Chance of a shower during the afternoon and evening hours. Mostly cloudy, a touch cooler still on Friday with highs in the mid-70s. We'll have a chance of a shower at any point throughout the day on Friday. I'm meteorologist Nate Johnson in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Currently at the Big O Country Studios, it's 4:03.
Welcome out to the best in sports. It's Tim Johnson and Ken Link here for you on a Wednesday. Want to say hello to all our listeners out there. Ken, we have got one power pack of a show of some great sports for all our listeners out there on WCSL 1590.
Yes, we're here today. Muggy day out there, Tim, but we still can talk football as well as the warm sports, baseball. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Even might talk a little bit of NASCAR and soccer today.
Absolutely, Ken. Like you said, we got a power pack show all day for you here on the WCSL 1590 AM. We always online too. You can check us out on the WhatsApp Shopper online, and great sports for you today, Kenny.
Yes, let's start off, Tim, talking about the NFL. A lot of news coming out of the NFL. We talked
big news.
We talked a couple of weeks ago in pretty much detail about the protest during the national anthem in the NFL games, and this week some breaking news the last few days. First of all, Tim's Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, made news coming out saying
he's always making news. What are you talking about? He's always in headlines.
Saying that his Cowboy players will be benched if they do not stand during the national anthem.
Yeah, I was checking in on that too, and he owns the team. It's an independent company like we was talking about, so I don't think they can do anything about what he's saying. And I kind of have to agree with him to a certain extent. I would have to say that, yeah, he needs to, without a doubt, or the NFL, really the NFL needs the ones who step up and say, hey, you guys are going to stand for the national anthem, and, it's your country you're talking about, so it's a pledge of allegiance, for all our veterans out there and for people who gave their lives and so forth. But, yeah, Ken, I'm thankful that Jerry Jones has made a stand, but I think the NFL, Roger Goodell, he's the one that needs to make a stand and say, hey, this has got to stop.
Yeah, there needs to be some direction there. I heard a couple people say, well, Jerry, yeah, I guess you did say that because none of your guys are kneeling down. So what would you do? What would you do if they called you bluff? What if Dak or a Dez Bryant or
I don't think that's going to happen.
Or Elliott would take a knee. What would you really do?
Yeah, well, first of all, Dez Bryant is Jerry's son. You know that, don't you? So he loves Jerry. So he's not going to go against his dad's wishes. But for Dak and Zeke,
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen
either.
either.
Some folks would say, yeah, Jerry, it's easy for you to say that because you're probably not going to have anybody to do it.
Right.
But I really believe the man is a man of his word.
Yes, he is. I believe he will. But what if 25 players do it, Ken?
Well, there you go.
Are they going to forfeit the game? Is he going to be that big of a man of his word? Is he going to forfeit the game if 25 players kneel on the sideline? And guess where Dallas plays at when they come out of their bye? San Francisco, where all this started at.
Wow.
Now, is that not a situation where if the Cowboys are up there, and like you said, maybe 7 or 8 players. What are some of his star players, like you're saying, Dak, Zeke, Jason Witten, Sean Lee, he'll be back. What are some of his star players taking knee? How's he going to handle that?
Is that their next game?
Yes, absolutely, at San Francisco.
It's interesting.
That is very interesting.
The other couple of things associated with this was Vice President Pence attended the Colts 49ers game.
Yes.
And there were, I think, 20-plus players for the 49ers that took a knee. And he promptly left, saying that, he didn't want to attend the game where they disrespected the national anthem and the flag.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with him doing that.
I commend him for what he did. But you could tell that was a staged situation.
Well, it was. But he is also very, obviously, a patriotic guy. He's got a son that's in the military.
Sure does.
And so my question was, it probably was staged a little bit because otherwise, why would you want to see the 49ers and Colts play? I mean, those two bad teams.
Does anybody know who won the game?
I figure maybe half the fans left at halftime or something. I don't know. I shouldn't say that, but those two programs are obviously struggling right now.
Well, let's get back to the forefront of this. Yeah. The reason why Vice President Pence was at the game was because of Peyton Manning. He was the governor of Indiana, and him and Peyton were friends. And, of course, Peyton, who was retiring his number. The Colts were retiring his number, which to me is an honor, and he well deserved that for what he did to the Colts. He put the Colts, like you say, the house that Babe Ruth made the Yankees. Well, he made the Colts, and he put the Colts on the map in that situation. Built that whole entire stadium there. They put a statue out there in front of the stadium of Peyton Manning, and no doubt this guy is a legend. Peyton Manning is, and so congratulations to him as well. But yeah, that's one reason why Pence was there too.
And you're talking about the Cowboys playing the 49ers. This thing may not be resolved by this weekend, but I think Roger Goodell wants some kind of resolution or something definite coming out of the owners' meeting that starts next Monday. It's a scheduled owners' meeting. They had scheduled in the fall, but he's put on the agenda, top of the list, this about the protest. In fact, he sent a letter to all the 32 owners saying in that letter that he wants players to stand for the national anthem.
Well, let me ask you a question, Ken. Where was this at, say, a month ago?
Well, see, that's where I thought.
I mean, who did Donald Trump, our president of the United States, President Trump, did he contact the NFL, Roger Goodell, and say, hey, you need to put an end to this, buddy?
Well, I don't know whether
we know he called Jerry Jones.
Well, I don't know whether he told him you need to put an end to it. He may have said, if you don't put an end to it, your franchise is going to be suffering because the NFL's, ratings are going down. I'm telling you, the owners and Goodell's all about the money and what they saw. And I saw
he's the fall guy.
I saw a couple weeks ago the stance that the NFL was taking, which was, well, do whatever you want to do, and we won't do anything. That was not going to last.
No.
I saw where a guy who's a guru in branding and marketing saying that's the worst stance you can take. And the reason is there's so many Americans that perceive the actions as disrespecting the flag, whether you say you're doing it or not. That's the way they see it. And those are the folks that buy tickets, and it's going to affect you monetarily, and it's not a good business decision to continue on. And so he's making a business decision now, and he's saying we're going to discuss this on.
That's a good point. Let me ask you a question. Have you checked the ratings here lately of the public, the public opinion, whether it's pertaining to I'd say like you did the other week, I think it was like, what, 60%?
I haven't seen a recent poll.
Yeah.
But I know the actual ratings on the football games have gone down. And and certainly you always see isolated instances on social media, but it doesn't help the PR for National Football League when people on social media showing bonfires, burning jerseys, and things like that. That doesn't help. You don't want that.
I agree with you. All right, some NFL news here for you. The AFC. Kansas City remains undefeated. They played the Washington Redskins the other night and beat them, so they're 5-0, the only undefeated in professional football. Denver has a 3-1 record. All other AFC teams have lost at least 2 games. So
a lot of parity.
Yes.
You look at it that way, a lot of parity in the AFC and a lot in the NFC as well, but especially in the AFC.
Ken, let's go down the brackets here, the divisions. You got the East, which is the used to be called the Bills and Patriots. Used to be called the Patriots division. Actually, the Patriots struggling a little bit on defense. So, and I hear that Tom Brady's a little banged up. So his left non-throwing shoulder has been injured, and I think it happened against the Carolina Panthers. Ken, from my understanding, from what they were saying. So therefore, the Bills, the Patriots, Jets all have 3-2 records. The Jets are playing pretty good football. Is this going to be the year that the Patriots do not win their division?
Well, that's a good question. Everybody always says, well, you got Brady, you got Belichick, and they'll get better. They get better. Well, you don't know, Tim. They may get a lot better as the season goes along, or that defense may struggle all year. You just don't know.
He's been hit over 30 sometimes, Ken.
Yeah, and if he gets where he's not 100%, then who else is going to lead that team?
Could this be, let me ask you a question, could this be the year that Tom Brady does not finish the season, and could this be his last year in a Patriots uniform?
Well, he doesn't want it to be, obviously. He wants to play several more years, but injuries takes their toll, Tim.
He won't retire.
If injuries may force you where you can't go out there and play no matter how much you want to. So
could this be?
Could this be? You never know. But the older you get, the more impact injuries have. That's a fact.
Your body can't
That's
take.
A fact.
Yeah. You know, if he gets hit, say, 15 times in a year, well, he can go, that's like a sack a game, you know. He's going to be fine. But when 32 to 35 times he's already been sacked, you know, within what? How many games? 5 games? I mean, Ken, That's 3 sacks a game.
Yeah, and it's tougher for him because he don't have the receiving crew he once had. And Gronk, he's there one game and out the next. I've never seen a guy injured so much.
Hit hard.
You can't. Yeah, if you can't find your guys, you're gonna hold on to that ball longer, and you're gonna take more hits.
The Kansas City Chiefs 5-0, Denver Broncos 3-1. That is the West Division. In the North, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore lead the division with 3-2 records. Browns are 0-5. The Browns, they haven't played good at all.
That's the only team in the AFC that has not won a game.
Yes, and in Pittsburgh, Big Ben, I mean, he didn't, 5 interceptions last week, 2 of them returned, and they played Jacksonville, I tell you, they're playing really good
Jacksonville
football.
leading the South with a 3-2 record.
That's pretty decent. That's a pretty decent record.
We don't know how that'll come out, but Jacksonville, that's usually a pretty weak division, but this year, who knows?
In the NFC, the Panthers, Eagles, Packers have 4-1 records. Your Falcons have a 3-1 record. Everyone else has. I think the Falcons will bye this week. Is that right, Ken?
Yes, they were.
So everyone else has at least 2 games, lost 2 games, that is. And the Giants in San Francisco 49ers are 0-5 on the season. So you got in the East, you got the Philadelphia Eagles, the lead. They're a 4-1 record. You got the Cowboys. They are 2-3. They got the bye week this week. They'll be playing, like we was talking about earlier, going to San Francisco, playing at San Francisco in 2 weeks. That's going to be a really important game for the Cowboys. They need to come out and win that game without a doubt, Ken. Philadelphia, they play tomorrow night. Yep. They play the Carolina Panthers at Carolina Panthers Stadium. Ken, we were talking the other day, and I told you we could have went to that game. So, and we're going to do some games here, too. We've got the November 5th game coming up, the Atlanta Falcons. Ken and I will be there with the media and the press. We're going to be interviewing and doing some stuff for on behalf of the radio station there. So we'll look forward to that. And also December the 17th, that might be a big game. I tell you why. That is the Green Bay Packers, Ken. And we'll be there as well.
That'd be an excellent game.
Let me tell you something. That might come down, possibly, home field advantage.
Well, you never know. I mean, you never know. The Packers are leading their division with a 4-1 record. Carolina's leading the South Division
that could be,
with a 4-1 record. So you never know.
That could be a home field. I'm telling you right now, that could be home field advantage right there. Who wins that game? So we're looking forward to that. Also, let's see here. Kenny got the West.
Seattle and the L.A. Rams tied with 3-2 records. So this week, as Tim said, tomorrow night, Panthers play Philly. He can help those Cowboys out by Panthers knocking off Philly at home. The Panthers and Cam Newton really looked good against Detroit. That's probably the best I've seen Cam throw the ball.
He did. I got to give him credit. He played really well. I mean, accuracy.
So that's everything. 2 good games in a row for him passing the ball. Here's a little bit of concern, Tim. On a short week, I mean, these Thursday night games, these guys don't have much time to get ready and recover.
That's
and
true.
With Cam's arm, I hope it'll be okay tomorrow night. But with a short week that way, I'm a little concerned about would it be fatigued? Will he be as sharp as he was?
Well, I'm sure they ice him down and so forth. I'm sure he probably hadn't threw a lot this week. Today's Wednesday, so he probably threw today. I'm sure he did. He probably threw a little bit yesterday. Yeah. Monday, I'm sure he didn't throw any at all. But you got to. I give the Panthers the advantage come tomorrow night. I think their defense is playing excellent.
They sort of
their offense is really clicking.
Yeah, the defense really played great for a good while in that game, and then after they got the big lead, it's like they slacked up and played a little bit softer and let them score a couple touchdowns. That game wasn't that close.
No, really. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the Panthers, but we're going to run through this right quick. You got the North. You got Green Bay, like Kim was saying, leads 4-1. They're coming to Carolina December 17th. We'll be there doing the media and the press work there for the Carolina Panthers. Also, in the South, you got Carolina leads 4-1 record. Atlanta was off, so they're 3-1. And I'm gonna tell you a team to watch out for. They're putting it together. Looks like, and that's the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, they've started out 0-2, but since then they've played much better. And big trade, Tim. Well, I don't know how big it was, but the Adrian Peterson, well-known name, who had signed with the New Orleans before the season, 2-year contract, found himself sort of on third string behind Camaro and Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram and is the guy who's been there, a veteran, good running back for a while, and Camaro's the rookie, and he wasn't getting much carries, and so it probably wasn't a good move in the first place, but bottom line, they made a trade. They traded him to Arizona for a conditional 6th-round draft pick. So he will be running for the Arizona Cardinals.
All righty, Kenny. We're going to come back and talk some more about Carolina Panthers and the Cowboys right here on WCSL 1590. It's the best in sports. You're listening to Ken Link, my right-hand man, and also Tim Johnson. We'll be back after these commercials right here on the best in sports.
This is Hernan for Mas Grill, and you are listening to my good friends Tim and Kim, Best in Sports.
Car, home, back porch, it's the only one we listen to. I listen to it all day long.
Big O Country, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Helton inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with Kenny Chesney, who gives us a sneak peek at his new live album.
To me as a fan, if I went and had a great time and experienced a great night of my summer with a lot of my friends, I'll go, that's us.
That's Kenny Chesney this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Hilton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Now you can earn 1,000 points for every night you stay at the Hampton Inn. It's part of the Hampton Inn's Grand Nights promotion. Your points will add up to unforgettable experiences. Find out more by visiting your nearest Hampton Inn. You'll always come back with a tale to share. Start turning points into stories worth sharing. Visit the Hampton Inn on Remount Road in Gastonia and start earning your points today.
Honey, I am officially on break. This cold McDonald's McCafe drink is really chilling me out.
Oh, me too. I'm officially on break from worrying about the weird sound coming from the garbage disposal.
And I'm officially on break from having to think about cleaning out the garage.
You've been thinking about that for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's about time I had a break from thinking about it.
For a limited time, get every size soft drink or Mickey D's sweet tea for $1, or a small McCafe frappe smoothie or shake for just $2. Prices and participation may vary. A la carte only.
Keep your generator running year-round with one call to Energy Direct in Shelby. Energy Direct will keep your generator filled up all year long, whether it be residential or commercial. And if you're into racing, see Energy Direct in Shelby for your Turbo Blue racing gasoline. From home heating propane to Turbo Blue racing fuel to fuel your generator, see Energy Direct, located on 1906 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right across from the Cleveland Mall.
It is a rugby scrub right at the tailgate of Johnny Sauter.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series playoffs.
Here comes Matt Crafton. He's got drafting help in the outside line.
Race 3, and 4 drivers will fall from contention.
Sauter goes to block.
The Fred's 250, powered by Coca-Cola.
Now they're beginning to crash. One truck is in the air. Matt Crafton upside down.
Saturday at 12:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Fred's 250 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series this Saturday afternoon at 12:30 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Did you know there are other signs of rosacea besides facial redness, bumps and pimples, and visible blood vessels? Other signs include burning, stinging or swelling of the face, even enlargement of the nose. Rosacea can also affect the eyes, causing a bloodshot appearance and irritation that could lead to vision loss. If you have any sign of rosacea, see a dermatologist and ask about advances in treatment, or visit the National Rosacea Society at rosacea.org.
If you want it sold, put it on the Carter Chevrolet Swap Shop with Milton Baker, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 10, right here on Big O Country and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Welcome back to the Best in Sports. It's Tim Johnson and Ken Link right here for you on WCSL 1590 every Wednesday. You can catch us live. Also on podcast and YouTube. You can check us out there. If for some reason you're in the car and you want to go home and watch our show, you can do it right here on YouTube, Ken.
Yes, we're right there. You can actually see us. I don't know how much you want to look at us.
I don't know about
you
that,
You can
Ken.
see us and hear us.
They might want to look at you. I nicknamed Ken the Silver Fox.
Well, I got the silver. There's no doubt about that.
All righty, Kenny. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the Carolina Panthers here for you, Ken.
Well, they had a big game this past week against Detroit, down in Detroit. Tim, with Greg Olson being out, tight end Ed Dixon, a veteran, he was a big part of the offense.
Yes, he was.
Caught 2 passes that both were over 50 yards. What a game! He had as many yards in one game as he had all last year. But that's good. You got a guy stepping up that they are trying to get involved. Fungus is playing well. Benjamin's playing well. So their receivers are playing really well now. And Cam hit almost 80% of his passes in that game. He was on.
Yeah, Ed Dixon, he had 100 and some yards?
Oh, well over 100.
Oh, yeah, like 150, 60 yards?
Yeah,
something
160
like
something, I
think. Yeah, played excellent. I mean, on 5 receptions, too. So.
And he's breaking tackles.
Yeah, you can't ask for more of what he did.
And McCaffrey got his first touchdown on a nice little shovel pass. I love that play. And I love to play the Dixons where they did play fake, faded out, and there's Dixon just wide open, So they're playing well. I hope with 2 big road wins, I hope they can keep it up tomorrow night here in Charlotte as they play at home against those Philadelphia Eagles who have a good team coming in, have been playing well.
If you want to call them the Beagles, you can do that too, Ken. That's all right. Hey, listen, I'm not an Eagles fan. I got a buddy that I work with at FedEx. He's a huge Eagles fan. So I came into work last night. I got there early this morning. And so I'm walking by his office. He's our new assistant manager there, senior manager. And he said, "Hey, Tim," he said, "come here, I got to show you something." So anyway, he's from Ohio, so he's an Ohio State fan. And so every time I walk by his room, he's got his Ohio State big flag up.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said, "Hey, is that Oklahoma Sooners flag?" So anyway, he said, "Come here, Tim, I got to show you something." So I walk in his office. He said, "Hey, look at this Eagle stuff I got here." So his name is Brad. Nice guy. He's been with us for about probably 2 weeks, and so he does a good job. But anyway, I'm really impressed with the Panthers, Ken. I'm going to let you know that. I'm impressed. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to go to Super Bowl or win it, but I'm telling you, I'm impressed with what the Panthers and Ron Rivera is doing this year, especially after what Cam Newton took all the heat about what happened last week with that reporter and so forth. And then they go up there to Detroit, which is a very hard place to play. And I'm going to tell you, Detroit's like Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Beating Matthew Stafford in his home stadium after they played well all year.
That's tough.
I'm impressed.
That's tough.
I'm impressed.
And they played well, and they come out. Cam was focused. The only thing, they had a bunch of penalties early in the game, but they settled down, and in the second and third quarters, they were dominant over Detroit.
Yes, they were. They won 27-24, but like I say, it was,
it's 27-10. They
They
sort of took the foot off the gas, which I don't like them doing that, but they did do that. But it's all about getting a win. I'll take the record 4-1 after 5 games. I'm okay with that.
You got a score for tomorrow night?
I think it's going to be a little bit sloppy. I think it'll be a lower scoring game. I really do. I'm going to go with 2016 Panthers. 2016?
That sounds like 2016, 2017. Yeah, I think that's a good score. I'm definitely picking the Panthers win. I want them to win because it's the Eagles and they're in our division. But, I look at the Eagles and who they played in the last 3 games. They played the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. They played the Chargers. And let's see, who else they played, Ken? Chargers, let's see, Cardinals, and they played somebody else. I can't remember. But their record was 3-12. They've won 3 games out of the 12 combined 12 games. So that's not impressive.
They've only played one winning team their first 5 games. So
the Giants. The Giants. What was they beat the Giants?
We know everybody's beat the Giants. So.
yeah. You're right. Yeah, I mean they're banged up too. I mean they've got a lot of injuries. So.
Yeah, Beckham went down with a broken ankle, so he's done for the year.
On the next topic, the Cowboys.
Let's talk about the Cowboys, Tim. Another tough, close, high-scoring loss.
Yes.
2 in a row to the Packers.
Now, I'm not making any excuses whatsoever. Dallas's offense seemed like to be getting a little better. They're getting better.
The offense is not the issue, Tim.
And they ran the ball better, too.
Yeah.
Zeke looked better. Here's my thing. It's the defense. When Sean Lee is in the game, Sean Lee's been out, I think, for the last 2.5, 3 weeks. I think 3. He went out against the Cardinals. In the fourth quarter, he pulled a hammy, so he was out. So he's been out for the last 2 weeks. He probably could have played against Green Bay, but I think just we're just going to hold him out. He's got a bye week, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 weeks. He'll be ready for the San Francisco game. He's their heart and soul of the defense. He is the defense. He's so smart. He's like Luke Kuechly. You take Luke. Now the thing about Carolina is they not only have Luke Kuechly, they have Thomas Davis too. he's just a superb football player as well as a person. But you got Luke Kuechly, who's like Sean Lee. You take him out, you're gonna hurt, especially for Dallas. They don't have a Thomas Davis, somebody like that they can fall back on. So Dallas, the run game. I mean, there's people running. They look like Hall of Fame running backs. I could run against Dallas's defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, when Sean Lee gets back in the game, you're going to see a difference in that defense.
Well,
you're not going to see 30-some points scored.
Well, here's the thing: it's his play, but as you said, it's his leadership in his
people in position
in his football intelligence.
Oh yes.
And in that game against Detroit, the Panthers Sunday, they gave up some big plays the first couple series.
Right.
And even Kuechly missed some tackles. But he was over on the sideline preaching. He was over there saying, we're better at this. We got to do – that's what you need, somebody with leadership that's got credibility say, hey, this is what we got to do and we'll do it. And Lee's that type of guy too.
Right. You're right, and I agree with you. Now, the thing about Dallas's defense is when Sean is in the game, he puts people in position to make plays. There was one play in particular at the end of the game when Rodgers ran out like about a 20-yard run. They got him in field goal range. Then they ended up throwing a touchdown pass. On that play, Anthony Hitchens, who came back from injury, he's playing had a decent game. He went with the running back out of the field. The running back came through the line of scrimmage and took a right and went to the opposite side that Rodgers ran. Sean Lee would have never done that. Sean Lee would have saw that running back, knowing that running back was going to be picked up by the outside linebacker, so he would have went with the quarterback. He would have been the spy. Hitchens was the spy on the quarterback, but he didn't realize that the outside linebacker was going to pick him up. So that's a breakdown in communication there. That's where Sean Lee comes in hand. He says, hey, I know that guy's going to be picked up. We're not worried about him. I'm going to take the quarterback because if he gets outside, the coverage is deep. There's nobody going to be out there for him to get, he's going to pick up the first down, extend the drive. So that's where Sean Lee comes in hand.
And you need that, Tim, because
yes, you
do. The defenses are so and offenses are so sophisticated, they're always trying to fool somebody. And the communication is key because if you're not paying attention and pointing and talking, somebody will miss assignment, and then you got somebody wide open.
That's where Sean Lee and Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis and the great ones are ahead of the game. They can, even Ray Lewis for that matter, he put everybody in position to make plays. But anyway, Cowboys offense, I like what I'm seeing now. They got Cole Beasley involved. He had 2 touchdowns. Jason Witten got involved a lot, but they ran the ball. In the fourth quarter, they had the ball for 10 minutes, Ken. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And lost the game because they left. Rodgers had a minute and 13 seconds left.
13 seconds, and that's plenty for Rodgers. It's amazing.
That's a lifetime for that man.
That man's amazing.
He's amazing. Is he the best?
He's the best I've ever seen of taking a team down the field and scoring. I mean, what he's gonna try to do, and he just does it.
Well, he looks for big plays. He is a big play quarterback.
And he's so cool. He's so cool in the pocket looking. He's not going to get stressed. And his players know that, so they're cool too because he's like, hey, he's going to lead us down here. We're going to do this.
Reporter asked him after the game. She said, maybe you ought to think about buying real estate down here because you won your Super Bowl here. You won a Super Bowl here against Pittsburgh. You just don't get beat here. And he said, I do have real estate here. And she said, really? He said, yeah. I own Texas Stadium.
I love it.
Man,
I love it.
That's classic right there,
classic.
Ken. That's classic. I tell you, man. You can't get no better than that.
I hear you.
All righty, Ken. We're going to take a short break here, and then we'll be right back with some more Cherryville High School football. That's right.
We'll talk about those Iron Man as we do each week here on The Best of Sports.
We have a couple of isolated showers rolling around the area this evening. Those will give way to partly cloudy skies overnight as some slightly cooler and less humid air filters in. We really won't notice it tonight, though, lows in the lower 70s. Tomorrow, though, we should, especially for the afternoon, a high around 80 with partly cloudy skies. Chance of a shower during the afternoon and evening hours. Mostly cloudy, a touch cooler still on Friday with highs in the mid-70s. We'll have a chance of a shower at any point throughout the day on Friday. I'm meteorologist Nate Johnson in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Currently at the Big O Country Studios, it's
Holden Carpenter of West Lincoln High School is this month's McDonald's WOHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Holden is the son of Tanya and David Carpenter. Holden also plays soccer, runs cross country, and is a member of the West Lincoln track team. Holden has a grade point average of 4.67. Holden's advanced courses include AP Literature and Composition, AP Government, and AP History. He's a member of the New Vision Ministry Church and is involved in the Ignite student group. Upon graduation, Holden plans to enroll in a community college for 2 years, then transfer to NC State and major in agriculture. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievement in the classroom and overall school and community citizenship.
This is Hernan for Mas Grill, and you are listening to my good friends Tim and Kim, Best in Sports.
Okay, we're back here on the Best in Sports here on a Wednesday afternoon. You just heard Iman talking about the Max Grill. Boy, that's a nice place to eat, Tim, and he's always welcoming us there, and he knows how to cook some good food over there.
I'm telling you, what are you getting today, Ken?
I haven't decided. I had a lot of burger last week. I may try something a little different today.
Yeah, we need to tell our listeners out there just what a lot. We know a lot of our listeners from Lincoln, and Cherryville, but you can also hear us in Charlotte and of course Gastonia surrounding areas too, Hickory too, Newton. Tell them what a lot of burger is.
The best way I can describe a lot of burger, it's in the name. There's a lot of burger there, Tim. And what I mean is he's stacked with a big, thick burger and lots of stuff on it, tomato and lettuce. And Tim, all I can say is you're a pretty good eater.
Luck.
You're a pretty good eater if you can down that whole thing. That's all I got to say.
Yes, big plate of fries with it too, and a sweet tea. It's about $7.75 for all that food.
Yeah, and about 7.5 pounds in your stomach.
That's a good way of putting it right there. 7.5 pounds. I like that, Kenny. All righty. The Cherryville High School, and also let me make this clear. Max Grill is the sponsor for our one of our sponsors here at the show, and also for Cherryville High School. Every time we do Cherryville High School, we got to talk about Max Grill, Ken.
And speaking of those Ironmen, they played a tough team this week, Mountain Island Charter, one of the better teams in their conference.
They did.
And they were outmatched in that game. They lost that game 48-6 to Mountain Island. Mountain Island led by ex-quarterback at East Lincoln, Marcus Graham, had a big game for him. And
real good football player.
A really good football player, and West Lincoln couldn't get their offense going, and I think they finally scored on the last play of the game to make it 48-6.
Yeah, that's where I see that. They had a 25-yard touchdown pass from Jacob Harden to Nathan Jeffers. Jacob's had a pretty good year this year throwing the football, from my understanding.
Yeah,
he's had several touchdown passes.
What has hurt him some? He lost his best receiver, Kane. A couple weeks ago, he had an ankle injury, and since he's been out, its passing attack has been a little bit difficult for them to be successful with.
Yeah, I like what Coach Pruitt's doing with those young kids too. So he's going to turn that program around, get them headed in the right direction. And like I say, we're going to try to get Coach Pruitt on our show coming up sometime hopefully in the near future, hopefully during football season too. If not, he'll definitely be on our show after football season where you have more time. Probably get him come up here and sit down with us and do the whole show with us, Ken.
Yeah. This week, the Ironmen play Union Academy. Union Academy has a 1-2 conference record, 4-3 overall. And Tim, they're a good team because they lost one this week to Bessemer City, who's undefeated this year, 8-7. What a low-scoring game!
Wow!
But they only lost by 1 point, so they have a good team.
They must be pretty good if Bessemer City want to beat them 8-7, because Bessemer City is a really good football. They're good on both sides of the football, Ken.
Yeah, and as I said, they're undefeated. They have not lost this year.
Wow. That's going to be.
So Union Academy's got a good team.
Yes. And where are they out of? Where's that?
Well, it's in the Monroe area,
okay,
but I don't know exactly, but it's in the Monroe area.
Wow, that's interesting to know. So, like Ken saying, Cherryville takes on Union Academy, and that's going to be this coming Friday night. So, good luck to the Ironmen and to Coach Tim Pruitt there at the Cherryville High School football. All righty, Ken, some NASCAR. We're going to go into some NASCAR news here, and then we're going to get into some baseball. So in the NASCAR news, Ken, looks like in the Bank of America down in Charlotte, Martin Truex Jr. won the race. Chase Elliott finished second. So, my father-in-law was telling me, Jim, after the race, that Martin broke down because of his wife. She's got cancer out there.
I understand she's taking chemo.
Yes, and that's real sad. That's real sad. She's had it for a while, and but yeah, we wish our thoughts and prayers are with the Truex family.
And what a great season he's had, Tim.
Oh my gosh,
that's
how many races has he won?
Well,
6, 7.
He won I think he won 4 before the playoff series, and he's won 2 out of the past 4.
So that would make 6.
So I think he's won 6. The other 2 races in the play of the 4 that's been run has been Kyle Busch. So those guys have won all the last 4 races, and no surprising, they're both the top points leaders right now.
So is Kyle tied with him?
No, Truex is leading in points, and Kyle is second.
He's right behind him.
Right behind him.
Got you. Well, that's interesting because I think Kyle Busch is starting to put it together now. Him and Joe Gibson.
They are. He's really running really well, and this week they go to Talladega, Alabama.
Now, I didn't realize this, Ken. Truex Jr., his team owner is Joe Gibbs.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was telling me that earlier. I thought it was somebody else. But and he said also that Truex Jr., his shop is in Colorado.
Wow.
Yes, I didn't know that.
I
but
didn't know that.
Yeah, my father, he knows a lot about race and stuff. Well, I'm trying to get him to come today. But yeah, he said that Truex shop is in Colorado. So that's pretty neat there. And said that that Joe Gibbs is his owner. So Joe Gibbs has got 2 teams, 2 racers in the top. So, he's
and they're right up there, and both are running really well right now. So we'll see what happens. Talladega, you never know what's going to happen there.
Right.
Super Speedway maybe have some big wrecks, but we'll see what happens. And a couple more races, and then we'll be knocking off 4 other people, and you'll get down to 8, and eventually you get that down to 4 till you get to that final race.
And we know that Coach Joe Gibbs, he knows how to win championships.
He's proven that.
Yes, in racing as well as NFL football. So
another thing, Tim, that we don't usually talk about, and in fact I don't know that we've ever talked about on this show, soccer. Now, why are we going to talk about soccer? Because unfortunately, the U.S. soccer team lost in trying to qualify for the World Soccer Cup. And, Tim, this is the first time they have not qualified for the World Soccer Cup.
Really?
In 31 years.
Wow.
31. So they were upset by, I think, Trinidad and some other. Anyways, a couple of islands. It was a tremendous upset. Nobody expected them to get eliminated. So they're eliminated. They can't even compete for the World Soccer Cup this year.
Wow, that's interesting news, Ken. I did not know that.
So it's sort of a downer for soccer fans.
It is. And we got a lot of people around here who love soccer.
Yes.
A lot of high schools got some great soccer teams. So,
yeah, there's a lot of soccer. A lot of kids play it.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to a short commercial break, and we'll be back here with some Major League Baseball right here on WCSL 1590's Tim Johnson and Ken Link. Every Wednesday from 4 to 5, it's the best in sports.
Big O Country, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate the show's silver and gold 50th anniversary and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at SouthernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Harris Funeral Home in Kings Mountain is celebrating 70 years of service to the Kings Mountain community with a special open house on Saturday, October 14th from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. Refreshments will be provided by Joe's Florist and Catering. There will be a free gift for everyone that attends. Come out and meet the friendly staff and learn about pre-need planning and the latest trends in the funeral industry. Take a tour of Harris Funeral Home and hear about future plans. So plan now to be there for this special open house event at Harris Funeral Home, 108 South Piedmont Avenue in Kings Mountain. That's Saturday, October 14th, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. Today, more and more people are shopping and getting their information online. Here at KTC Broadcasting, we're making our websites easier for you to find out what you're looking for. At KTCBroadcasting.com, you can listen to all 3 of our radio stations, plus watch live video of high school sports, American Legion Baseball, Christmas parades, and other special events. At WhatsUpShopper.com, you'll find all kinds of deals from our local merchants. Shop our eBay store, plus swap shop items, along with community and church events and our local news. And at LincolnCounty.com, you'll find all the information you need concerning Lincoln County, from local businesses to government to school information, even today's local weather forecast. So click on and enjoy. That's KTCBroadcasting.com, the WhatsUpShopper.com, and LincolnCounty.com. The future is today.
Holden Carpenter of West Lincoln High School is this month's McDonald's WOHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Holden is the son of Tanya and David Carpenter. Holden also plays soccer, runs cross country, and is a member of the West Lincoln track team. Holden has a grade point average of 4.67. Holden's advanced courses include AP Literature and Composition, AP Government, and AP History. He's a member of the New Vision Ministry Church and is involved in the Ignite student group. Upon graduation, Holden plans to enroll in a community college for 2 years, then transfer to NC State and major in agriculture. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievement in the classroom and overall school and community citizenship.
In today's housing marketplace, the advantage goes to the seller. Gaston County is becoming a go-to location for new home buyers. But a seller's advantage is only as good as the realtor involved. That's where Moss Realty comes in. They're dependable, honest, and hardworking for you, the seller. Give them a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com. The number again, 704-865-5555. That's Moss Realty.
You know your automobile is your second biggest investment next to your home. Protect it from the winter snow and sleet with a new carport cover from Acre Enterprises in Cherryville. And now Acre Enterprises in Cherryville has lean-to deck covers with a 40-year warranty on the metal, along with metal roofing for your home or mobile home. Acre Enterprises, 1220 Shelby Highway across from Food Line in Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5, Saturday, 8 till 12 noon. Online at acrecarports.com.
Play trivia every morning from 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock right here at Big O Country. 4 big games each morning. Join us for trivia right here at Big O Country, WHS, WCSL, and WLON.
Okay, we're back here. Best in Sports. Ken Link and Tim Johnson. Tim, let's talk some baseball. We've got the division playoffs going on in both leagues, the American League and National League. And the Astros in the American League have already taken care of the Red Sox 3-1. Those Astros are playing good ball right now. Unfortunately for the Red Sox, today I heard them announce that they have fired their manager, John Farrell.
I'm shocked.
I'm a little bit too. He's
I'm
been
shocked.
there 5 years, Tim. He's won 3 division titles and has won a World Series. But unfortunately, he didn't do enough this year to satisfy the front office.
I wonder what the reasoning behind that, Ken.
I don't know whether they'll give one or not. They just probably just that they want to make a change. I don't know. But that's I was shocked by that. I was surprised. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I was too. So in game one, Jose
Altuve,
Altuve slugged 3 home runs.
One of the smallest players in Major League Baseball.
I saw him play the other night.
He is 5'6", weighs 165, second baseman. This is one of the best players in the major leagues and has been for a couple years. Tim, I think 2 of those home runs, of those 3, was off Chris Sale, one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Pitcher. Yes.
In my opinion, I think Altuve should win the American League MVP, and this is why. Tim, he batted .346, led the league in hits, 204, had 24 home runs, scored 112 runs, had 81 RBIs, and stole 32 bases.
That's pretty good.
And he has a career batting average of .316 in the majors, and the last 4 seasons, each one of them, he's had over 200 hits.
Yeah, you just tell me that the other week he had over 200 hits, like in the last 4 seasons. That's as good as you can get right there. You get 200 hits in a season, you've done something.
And he's
especially in baseball.
And he's excellent second baseman.
Oh,
excellent defensive player too.
Yes,
so,
he's
really
the
good. Leader of that team. There's no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about that.
And they've got some good players on.
I like Reddick. I like Reddick
Reddick's
too.
on
Josh
there.
Reddick,
Correa.
he's really
they
good.
They got some good
Lefty.
players. Yeah,
he had the big hit that won the game. I think won the game for the Houston Astros. You know, they had 2 outs. It was I think it was 2-2 count, and Sale was pitching to him, lefty on lefty.
Well, what the Astros had a good team this year, but they added some veterans like
they did.
Reddick, and that's made a difference for some of them. And McCann,
yes.
See, those are some veterans that know how to win, and that helped some of the younger players.
And McCann came through the Braves organization, but he also played for the Boston Red Sox as well.
Yeah, well, he played for the Yankees.
He played for the Yankees too.
Yeah,
yep. So yeah, that's another interesting point too. So, but yeah, so the Indians and Yankees, they are tied 2 games apiece. Game 5 is tonight in Cleveland. Kluber versus Sabathia. How about that? Sabathia coming from Cleveland.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this:
Cy Young winner in Cleveland.
Everybody thought the Indians was going to take it. I thought the Indians was going to take it.
I picked them to win the World Series.
It's a toss-up. It could, it's a final game, and it could go either way.
Well, like we were saying earlier before the break, Kluber, he hasn't pitched well.
No, he hasn't. And he got blasted.
Yes, he did.
In the second game.
And they should have lost that game.
And they should have lost. Yeah. That was a game which the manager of the Yankees he actually said, they bailed me out, because what happened that game, Tim, it was 8-3. Yankees lead. I think it was the 6th or 7th inning. Okay. Had a couple guys on base and 2 outs. Had 2 strikes on the hitter. I think it was 3-2. Yeah, it was 2 strikes on the hitter. Threw a pitch sort of inside, and the ump said it nicked him. It hit him.
I saw that, yes.
And he went to first. But the replay show it nicked the end of the bat, and the catcher caught the ball. So it would have been strike 3. And he did not.
See, it hit his hand.
He did not challenge it.
Wow.
He did not challenge it. It clearly said it would have been overturned.
Wow.
Because the ball nicked the end of the bat.
Wow.
Well, guess what? That loaded the bases. Next guy hits a grand slam. Now it's an 8-7 game, and they end up Indians coming back and winning that in 13 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one the Yankees could have won. But the Yankees came back, and now they forced a Game 5, so anything could happen.
Anything can happen. You're right, especially if you're the Yankees. How many times we've seen the Yankees do miracle things, in extra innings, or even playing the game itself when it gets to the point where they have to win a game, somebody steps up, and I tell you, it would not surprise me at all if the Yankees win this game big.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
We'll see. They have some home run hitters, Tim. If they get their bats going, they can put some runs up.
I'm torn. I tell you why. I'm a Yankees fan, even though I didn't expect the Yankees to be there.
You've been picking.
I've been picking Cleveland all year, and I said Cleveland's going to win it. First of the season. But I'm torn, Ken, because I'm a Yankees fan, and it's like, well, I want to be right on this. I picked the Indians, but the Yankees might, So it's kind of a tough
this
situation.
This is going to be a fun game to
it
watch.
Is.
I'm going to
enjoy
watch
it. 7:30 tonight.
I'm not picking it.
Yes, 7:30 tonight.
Over the National League, Tim, the Dodgers defeated the Diamondbacks, who won the wild card game against the Rockies, but they won it 3-0. They pretty much dominated Arizona. The Dodgers are playing good ball again. They had that period of time where they really played bad, but they got it together the last week or so in the season. They're playing good ball.
They're playing pretty good baseball. Pitching,
playing good baseball, getting good pitching. Yeah. Speaking of pitching, the Cubs lead the Nationals 2-1.
I'm shocked at that one.
And in these first 3 games, the Cubs starters, that starting pitching for the Cubs of Hendricks, Lester, and Santana, they have outpitched the National starters of Strasburg, Gonzalez, and Scherzer.
Scherzer, sure. Scherzer, he's been hurt, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been, and so he came back for that. But the Cubs, the one game the Cubs lost, Game 2, was because the bullpen failed them. Again, their starters outpitched them in that game.
So they could have swept them.
They could have swept them, but if the bullpen let them down. So they lead the Nationals 2-1, and the game they're supposed to play the Game 4 yesterday. It got postponed.
Yeah.
And so that game was being played. I think it started at 4 o'clock today, Tim. So that game is probably underway right now. Game 4.
What was it? A couple years ago, the Nationals, they jumped out to this big lead, and then all of a sudden they just fell apart to the end of the season, made the playoffs, and got swept.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is about the Nationals. I mean,
well,
they got
they got a lot of good talent. If they don't make it this year, there'll be a lot of folks saying, hey, what's going on over there? Who knows? Might be another manager fired.
Yeah. I mean, the players sometime or sooner or later has got to step up. You know, they got to step up.
Yeah,
I
manager
mean,
can only do so
right,
much.
right. And that's kind of how I look at John Farrell for the Boston Red Sox being fired. You know, if you think about it, Ken, I mean, he's won a world championship in his first year and won 3 conference championships too. So, I mean, what more does this man have to do?
Well, that's the same organization that fired Frank Conner, right?
Yeah, you're right. Well, there's a little bit more behind that with Tito.
Well, but still, though, they fired him, didn't they, after he won championship?
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, like I say, there was a little bit more. I think some of the players in the clubhouse had some issues. And also, look at the general manager who turned that program around. I mean, when you mean turning around, I mean, the guy that Epstein, is that who it is?
Yeah.
He went to Chicago, and look what he's done for Chicago.
Yeah, he turned that around.
He turned that program around, so that's pretty interesting. All righty. So, Kenny, baseball tonight, who you got, Yankees, Cleveland?
I think I'm going to go with the Yankees.
You know what? Listen, they're hot. Like I said, I picked Cleveland to win the World Series. It won't surprise me if the Yankees don't win big.
And I think the Cubs maybe close that series out tonight too. If they win Game 4, win this series 3-1, I'm picking the Cubs.
All right, if that happens, Yankees, Astros, they can play. They can hit.
I'd go with the Astros.
Yeah.
Once they picked up Verlander, I think that made a difference on that team.
Was that the missing piece?
I think that's a missing piece.
Okay. All right, college football news out there for you. You got the Clemson and Miami remain only the undefeated teams in the ACC this year. Miami defeated Florida State with a touchdown in the last few seconds of the game. And Clemson, top 2 team.
Yeah, they're playing well. And another team in ACC playing well, Tim, is your NC State Wolfpack.
That's right. Darren Roseborough from Lincoln High School. And speaking of Lincoln High School, we got the man right behind us, Mr. Scott Cloninger. Scott, you get to talk to jump in here, Scott. Yes, jump in there. Do you get to talk to Darian? Have you talked to Darian? I know his father passed away. Johnny, I saw that in the paper.
Yes, Coach Geiser and I went up and saw the family at the home the other day and paid our respects and had a chance to talk to Darian, and we talked about the kind of year state's having, and they are having a great year.
Yeah, I mean sensational year. And Kim was telling me earlier that Coach Dorn has had a contract extension too.
Well, they're negotiating it right now, I understand.
Right.
Because they're really pleased with him.
We went down and watched, the family went down and watched the South Carolina State game at Charlotte. And to be honest with you, other than the kickoff return, the opening game, State outplayed South Carolina.
Oh, they absolutely should have outplayed. They should have won that game.
Yes. I thought, as an old coach, I saw a bad call or two.
I mean,
officials made some bad calls.
Yeah.
And they even had an instant replay on one, and I said, well, there's no doubt they'll change it, and they didn't.
And that was at Charlotte, is that correct?
Charlotte,
Carolina Panther
yes.
Stadium, yeah. All right, Scott Cloninger, former Lincoln High School football coach, is with us here today. Scott just checked in with us. He's going to be hanging around with us for a little bit later on. We're going to be doing our Lincoln County High School, the first federal Lincoln County High School football show. So that's going to be a lot of fun with Coach here. So
we'll talk a lot of local football.
Absolutely.
We know he's an expert on that.
And Coach, he knows college coach, but down there at Johnson at Georgia Tech.
Yes, Paul
Your
Johnson.
roommate,
Yeah,
Paul
Johnson, old classmates, not
classmate.
roommate.
I'm sorry, classmates. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all played football together, is that right?
Well, Paul did not play football at Western.
Really?
No. We were both physical education majors and had a lot of classes together, and he's a very good friend.
Yes,
Good.
Smart man, great football coach.
Yes,
he knows that triple option. Y'all went down there a few times.
Yes. We went and saw him when he was at Georgia Tech,
sure.
and at Georgia Southern, and was very, very helpful in putting this in.
He was at Navy too.
Yes,
head football coach at Navy, did a sensational job. Left Navy to go to Georgia Tech, I believe it was.
Correct.
Yep, and did a great job at Georgia Tech. He's got a good football program there. He runs that triple option.
And
he
boy,
knows
that's hard to defend.
Yes, it is.
Everybody, every team that plays them saying, man, it's tough because it's just different.
And they should be undefeated also. Tennessee beat them first game of the year.
Yeah.
Which I turned TV off, went to bed, and thought that game was over.
Never know about college football.
You don't.
All righty, so you got NC State had a big victory over Louisville. Their defense played great. I like the quarterback from NC State. He's playing good too.
He's playing well. He's
yes,
playing
he
better than he was early in the year. And with that defense, they're like you said, if they hadn't lost that game to South Carolina, they'd be ranked a lot higher because they'd be undefeated.
Yeah. So you got Virginia Tech also at 5-1. The top 5 NCAA football rankings: Alabama #1, Clemson, Penn State, Georgia. I take in. Georgia to me is better than Penn State.
They're playing well. Oklahoma had lost.
I like Georgia.
Well, the Iowa State beat Oklahoma, and they went in as 30-point underdogs.
Really?
They beat Oklahoma, and Oklahoma dropped out of top 10, I think. And Michigan also was in the top 10. They dropped down. They lost to Michigan State.
Coach,
I've already cast my vote for the Heisman Trophy. It's that running back at Penn State.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
yeah. He's the real deal.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's complete. He can do it all. Like
yes,
Zeke.
he can.
Yep.
And Penn State's got a good team. I mean, they're deserving of their ranking.
Let me ask you a question, Coach. Can Georgia beat Alabama?
No.
Really?
Alabama just defensively.
Nick Saban.
They just, people talk about rebuild, and they don't rebuild. They reload.
They reload.
Their defense is great. Now, I will say this. If you can score a few points on them, that's the key. I don't think Alabama, I think Clemson showed them last year, their quarterback at Alabama has some question marks whether he can throw the ball like they need to. If you can score some points, I think you can make it a close game and possibly pull it out.
One thing about Georgia is they're known for great running backs.
Yeah,
I mean, they can run the football.
Yes, they recruit a lot of running backs.
That might be the key if they can wear that defense down and keep that offense off the field.
Yes, that's the key.
Yep. So you never know. But personally, I'm a Clemson fan.
Right.
I think Dabo, as soon as Nick retires, Dabo's going to Alabama.
He probably will. And there's another connection I have. The head football trainer or the head athletic trainer at Clemson is an old roommate of mine, Danny Poole.
Oh, really?
Danny's from Coolwood in Charlotte down there.
How about that?
A tank town.
I know exactly what Coolwood is. Yeah.
Danny's a great guy, and you'll see whenever they have an injury for Clemson, the little skinny guy runs out on the field first. That's Danny Poole. He's bald headed, but he's the man.
That's pretty neat here. That's all right. So, let me ask you a question, Coach. You going football game tomorrow night? Carolina Panthers, Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got?
I like the way the Panthers are playing.
I do too.
Short week bothers me a little bit, but I like the Panthers. I think I don't like the situation Cam had the other week. With the comment he made, but the man was happy.
Yeah,
he was happy. I mean, he just come off of a big game.
I don't think it was anything intentional.
Well, he sometimes gets himself in trouble just talking. Sometimes you just talk too much.
But you know what? After a big win, hey, I'm happy.
New England,
and I'm picking and going on with everybody. And he said something at the wrong time to the wrong person.
Exactly.
And I think he made a bigger deal out of it than what it was.
Yes,
and I think she probably could have handled it different. She didn't, and unfortunately, it's affected her.
Right, it has. But I tell you, it's going to be a great game.
Yeah. Panthers going to win.
We hope so.
I hope so.
All righty. Sometimes the games they're supposed to win, they don't. The ones they're not supposed to, they do.
Tim Johnson, Ken Link here every Wednesday. Scott Conger in the office with us here today, too. So we'll be switching things over here in a little bit. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in here with us. WCSL 1590 every Wednesday, 1590. You can catch us here live. The best in sports. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you here next week.
Professor John Hook here, and you're listening to The Boss, WOHS in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton, your beach, oldies, and sports station.
And W268CU, Shelby.
NCN News, I'm Bruce Farrell. There are now more than 22 wildfires burning in California, and they have claimed 21 lives. California's Governor Jerry Brown says the winds have returned today and the fire threat is far from over. He said California will rebuild.
It's going to cost a lot of money. The president has declared disaster, major disaster, and along with the other ones in Texas and Florida and elsewhere, this will be tens of billions.
An administration official confirms to multiple news organizations that President Trump is expected to nominate Kirstjen Nielsen to run the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Nielsen is a cybersecurity expert currently serving as Deputy White House Chief of Staff. She previously served as Chief of Staff at Homeland Security under then-Secretary John Kelly. Speaking alongside Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in the Oval Office today, President Trump disputed an NBC report that he wanted to drastically increase the U.S. nuclear weapons arsenal.
We won't need an increase, but I want modernization and I want total rehabilitation. It's got to be in tip-top shape.
Current Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn will face Presbyterian Minister Diane Moffett in the November election. Moffett beat out businessman John T. Brown for the spot against the two-term incumbent. Mayor Vaughn spoke with Spectrum News.
There's 4 weeks ahead of us to the general election. I will continue to do what I've been doing all along, which is to promote my message, the message of the city, and to continue the city's work.
Vaughn had 61.5% of the vote, while Moffett had 21.6%. Brown came in third with 16.9%. In races elsewhere in the state, Durham, Steve Schmuel will face Farad Ali in the general election next month for mayor, and incumbent Raleigh Mayor Nancy McFarland is expected to face Charles Francis in a runoff, although McFarland has said publicly holding another election to decide the matter would be, in her words, divisive. You're listening to NCN News.
Hello, North Carolina. Geico presents things that'll make you feel good.
Dolphins give each other names. Those squeaks and clicks might be dolphin 4.
Hey, Tom, come check this out.
Something else to make you feel good. Geico's been offering great savings and service for over 75 years. And
FDIC, an equal housing lender. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County for over 75 years. Customer service is a priority at First Federal Savings Bank.
Check. Go ahead, Scott.
1, 2.
You got it.
1,
Kenny,
2.
You got it.
All right, we good.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County for over 75 years. Customer service is a priority at First Federal Savings Bank, where they want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, products, and services of larger banks with hometown people that you see throughout your community. They live here, they work here, and this community matters to the people at First Federal Savings Bank. First Federal Savings Bank has 4 convenient locations in downtown Lincoln, Bossier City, Denver, and West Lincoln. Stop in and visit and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
I'm Demery Brewer, and you're listening to Tim and Ken on the First Federal Lincoln County High School Football Show.
Let's go, let's have some fun tonight. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win. X 82 pickle, H disco, 19 yo-yo, deep yo-yos, deep yo-yo. Gotta firm up a little bit, boy. Right, we're gonna use the cadence now, right? We gotta use the cadence versus that blitz. Apple, chocolate, Japan, Richmond, New York, Richmond, Florida, Sally, Buffalo. Check, hey, Short Ox, Ludo Raiders. How about? I might audible. If I audible, I'll use brown, right? Brown, right, orange, purple, white, red, 96, 18, 30.
Welcome out to the First Federal Lincoln County High School Football Shows. Tim Johnson and Ken Link here for you on a Friday. Hope you folks are having a good time out there. It's nothing but the very best of your Lincoln County High School Football Show, Kenny.
Yeah, we're back on another Friday night. Had some interesting games last Friday, and we've got a lot of interesting games coming up this Friday.
Yes, we do, Ken. And speaking of football, we have the man himself in the studio with us live here today, former Lincoln High School football coach, Mr. Scott Cloninger. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All righty, Kenny. What you got lined up for us, buddy, coming out of the gate?
Right out of the gate, let's talk about the First Federal Lincoln County High School Student Athlete Football Player of the Week.
Let's do that.
We presented that award this week to Tyshawn Harris of the Lincoln Woods, who not only had a great offensive game, which we used to seeing from him with 192 yards rushing and an 87-yard touchdown, but also on the defensive side was responsible for 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and actually stole the ball from a rusher on one of the first plays early in the game and went 39 yards with a return fumble for a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely. A great football game for Tyshawn. And also Chase Jones from East Lincoln had a great game too. So, that was a predicament situation, but what Tyshawn did, you can't just turn him away for what he did. He had a great game, Ken. Scott, you know a little bit about that Harris boys. You had one back when you coached your his senior year, Harris, and he was your cornerback, I believe it was.
Yes, he was. Yes, and Tyshawn played. He was a freshman my last year, and both those boys have a lot of speed, but Tyshawn's a little faster than Quinlan.
He is.
Oh yes, he can. If he gets in open, not many people around going to catch him.
Yeah, he's a good football player. Now, speaking of Lincoln, they play West Lincoln Friday night, and you know Coach Saint really well.
Yes, sir. Two fine coaches,
yes.
2 fine teams going at it. A lot of respect with each team for the other team, and I'm looking for a real tight ball game and a very interesting game.
Yes, we was at West Lincoln and Newton Conover game Kenny, and I tell you, Newton Conover, they're the real deal, Coach.
Yeah, and I went up and saw Lincoln play them, and Lincoln really had them on the ropes a little bit in that first half.
They did.
And if Harris had a fumble first drive, second half, if he doesn't fumble that,
who knows?
You never know. You never know. When you go up 8 or 9 points on somebody, mentality gets a little bit different. But right now, I do think Newton is class of the conference.
They are. Matt Beam has done a great job with those young men up there. And he's got a really good football team, and I know they're looking forward to get to the playoffs as well. So
the difference in speed between West Lincoln and Newton Conover was so evident. It just was like night and day, the speed on and the athletes on the Newton Conover's team versus West Lincoln, who tried to pound it with the ball control offense, but Newton Conover stopped them and just quick strike, scored, and it was 21-0. Right at the end of the first quarter before they can really get going.
Yeah, to me, West Lincoln couldn't do anything on either side of the football, Coach. I mean, they running the ball. I tell you, the running back, Nakathian Fansuk, is an excellent football player. He's a junior, runs the football really well. He stays low to the ground. He's hard to tackle. He's quick off the ball itself. He's in the backfield, and he's through the line before you can blink an eye. Good football player. And I like their quarterback, too, Seth Willis. He's doing a great job. They just didn't they could not move the football against Newton Conover.
Well, and if you're West Lincoln, I think what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to play ball control against Lincoln.
Yes.
If you can keep the ball away from Lincoln and keep moving and change and run that clock, your chances are better that you can pull off the win.
Yes, Lincoln's coming off a big win. They're playing against Bandy's the other night at Von Ray Harris football field, and from my understanding, Lincoln played good on both sides of football.
Yes, what Lincoln did was spread them out and let Harris run, and that's what their plan will be against West Lincoln. They're going to try to spread you out and get Harris a crease, and then it's over. I mean, they can't catch him. And then West Lincoln's the other thing. They're going to be their ball control. And
sure.
I think it's going to be funny. I think both of them want the ball first. And I think both of them want to go down and score and kind of put a little pressure on that other team.
You're probably right.
And, because that will happen. If West Lincoln gets the ball first, goes down and scores, if they can get a stop against Lincoln, hey, take the ball back over and control it. If Lincoln gets the ball and quick score, then, West Lincoln will have to come out of their game plan.
Right.
And that's what both of them have a great game plan ahead of them. I know. I subbed it to West Lincoln today and was talking to Coach Avery and Coach Sane, and that they're doing a fine job, but they just need to run ball control.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head. Opening kickoff is going to be big. Who gets the football and who can go down and score? Yes. That's going to be really big. That's going to be a momentum there too. So I think Lincoln's playing really good. We watched them against, like you say, Newton Conover. It was mostly ball control. They came out in the spread. They couldn't move the ball. Didn't do very well. But they went to one of your former offenses back in when you had the big bone, and that's what they came out to. And they ran the ball really well. So me and Ken was at the game, was calling the game, and I told Ken, I said, wow.
Yeah.
I said, they need to stick with that.
Yes. But
mix it in.
Yeah. And that's tough for a defense.
Oh, yeah. So that you could tell Newton Conover, they were shocked. They didn't know what to do. Now, they made a couple adjustments, and she said had the key turnover in the half, but they had them on the ropes. They were like, what's going on here?
And when Lincoln can run spread and big bone without a personnel change, then your defense. Yeah. Now, who's going to go out, who's going to come inside and play that 5 technique and get ready to take on the tight ends block?
Right.
Well, who's going to go out there and go one-on-one with Harris?
Yeah, Harris is going to win out every time.
Yes.
I told Ken he's the best running back in our conference. I know the Stinson kid from Newton Conover is good. The difference between Stinson and Harris is speed.
Yes.
He's speed off the ball. It takes Stinson seem like a little time to get going. But Harris, he's dynamic.
Well, he's got speed. He's got quickness, and
He does.
He's not a big kid, but he fights hard for the yard.
He does.
He really does.
Yeah. Well, with Harris, what Lincoln's running is they running him downhill.
Right.
With Newton Conover, Matt's running that zone read.
Sure.
And what he's running him east and west.
Sure.
Trying to get him
outside,
outrun people.
Yes.
And then get upfield. And that's what's taking Stinson a little bit longer
to get going.
Yeah.
Once he gets going.
Yes. And once he turns that corner and beats the corner, he's downfield. That's for sure.
And I talked to Matt too after the Lincoln game, and Matt said, "I tell you, Tim, if they would have came out And if they could have kept it close in the first half and then came out in the second half, big ball, we had no answer.
Right.
But they made some great adjustments.
Yes,
You gotta,
yes,
you
and,
gotta take
and
your
the
hat off to
turnover
him.
really did affect the game.
West Lincoln, in the last 3 games, Tim, given up a lot of points.
They have.
Their defense is really not looking quite as good as it was earlier. And I know they're playing different teams now,
Sure.
but their defense is not looking very strong right at the moment.
Well, I know one thing about Coach saying he's going to have those kids ready. There's no doubt about that. He's got a great coaching staff, and me and Kim was talking. I guess he's the senior of the coaching staff now in Lincoln County.
Oh,
if
in
you think
Lincoln
about
County,
it,
yes,
in Lincoln
yes.
County, he's a senior, and Tom and I we've talked numerous times over the season too, and he's really high on his kids. And I'll be honest with you, I picked West Lincoln to be one of the best teams in the conference. I thought they would, better, than some of the Lincoln County teams, but.
And when I was up there today, I was looking at his roster. A lot of these players are young.
They
juniors.
are.
Got a lot of
sophomores and
a lot
juniors.
A lot of juniors.
Yes.
So
his quarterback is a
yes,
junior.
Quarterbacks, junior,
running backs.
both.
Yeah.
I think both.
Have you
running
seen
backs
his
are juniors.
quarterback? Have you saw him?
No,
Have you
I
been
hadn't
up close?
seen him in person.
He's
no.
about 6'3". He's about 6'2", 6'3".
He's pretty
Big
tall
boy.
kid.
Yeah, athlete, real athlete. He throws the ball. He's got good throwing mechanics
Okay,
too.
good.
I'd like to see some more throwing with West Lincoln. And maybe on first and second down. You know what I'm saying? If they can, if they can get Fansuk or maybe Brandon Eicher, if they can get that 7 or 8 yard run on first down, play action. Maybe play action on second down.
Yeah,
take a shot.
They don't mix it up much. He was talking about get them out of the game plan. Well, they never.
Right.
They never came out of the game plan at Newton Conover, regardless of the score. I think they threw 7 passes all night and only completed 1, but they didn't try to come out very much. They just kept trying to run what the plan was.
We got head football coach, used to be the athletic director, and also the head football coach at Lincoln High School for 15 years. Scott, is that right?
Yes, sir.
15 years.
Yeah, but I started coaching at Lincoln in 1979. I was assistant coach for about 21 years.
So Coach Clonger has been a part of that program for over 30-some years. Is that right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Went to Western Carolina, played football there,
right.
played football at Lincoln. And Kim was telling me, said, I didn't realize this. In 1975, you led the conference in rushing.
I thought Mackie Reinhardt may have.
No, I think your senior year.
Yeah, okay, I may have.
You led.
Well, what
14,
I read,
yeah.
what I read was he set the Lincoln County rushing record.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Lincoln County record.
1,402 yards.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right.
I think it's been broken since then.
Oh yeah, good been he had broken. Yes.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah, mine was only 10 games. We didn't make the playoffs my senior year.
Well, that's impressive. 10 games, 1,400 yards.
Yes.
That's pretty good, Coach. So overall record 143-66 is Coach Conger's record here in Lincoln County, and as well as the state too. Won a state 2A championship in 2007. We was at that game. 3 state championship appearances: 2005, 2007, and 11. 3 state championships. He appeared in, actually being a part of,
Well, we had 2 more. 93 and 95 was Richard Smith's assistant.
Yes, we're getting
and we won
there.
in 93.
Yeah,
yes.
won in 93 with Goo, Charles, and,
Yes,
and
yes.
Josh. Great football team.
Oh, yes.
Is that
That's
Lincoln?
by far the best I've been associated with.
Unbelievable.
And everybody can get mad at me. They want to.
No, that's true.
These teams didn't want to play that 93 team. First off, Charles would hurt you.
Yes.
Dutch Leonard.
And you couldn't catch Goo.
No, you wasn't going to catch Goo. You had Kevin McLean with
Kevin
him. Kevin's just as
McLean.
fast. Josh Atkins had 3 receivers over 6'2".
He could throw anywhere in the field.
He just threw it up, make go
Jump
go
up.
get it. Yes,
Yeah.
and you had Goo and Kevin in the backfield.
Who was your tight end? I was
DJ Stover.
DJ Stover.
Yeah,
he
DJ
was
Stover.
a man among boys. He
Yes,
was
yeah,
good too.
Big
Cross
guy.
the middle.
Yes.
He was good too. And also you had Sharon Farley.
Yes, and
Wow.
Sharon Farley may have been the best athlete in the conference. Baseball, basketball, football.
Oh,
I agree with that.
I mean,
yes.
Very good baseball.
Yes.
Oh,
An excellent young man. I know him well.
First class.
Know Sharon well.
Yes.
And didn't they win a state baseball championship?
They
with
did.
him?
Yes, they did.
They did.
And the year before, they'd went to the state basketball championship. So that was a pretty good run there.
It was absolutely. So Coach Scott Cloninger in the house with us here today at the First Federal Lincoln County High School Football Show. Ken, we are at North Lincoln High School tonight.
Yes, we see them North Lincoln Knights and see if they can try to get a win. They're still trying to get another conference win.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. So we'll see everybody at the football game come up a little bit later on. So coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit about the what we got here lined up here, Kenny. What you got coming up for us in East
We're
Lincoln?
going to talk about East Lincoln and Bandies.
All right. We'll be right back after this commercial.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County for over 75 years. Customer service is a priority at First Federal Savings Bank, where they want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, products, and services of larger banks with hometown people that you see throughout your community. They live here, they work here, and this community matters to the people at First Federal Savings Bank. First Federal Savings Bank has 4 convenient locations in downtown Lincoln, Bossier City, Denver, and West Lincoln. Stop in and visit and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Tom Sane, West Lincoln High School football coach, and you're listening to Tim Johnson and Ken Link on the First Federal Lincoln County High School football show.
All right, we're back here on the First Federal Lincoln County High School football show. We got our special guest in the house with us tonight, Mr. Scott Cloninger of Lincoln High School football. Scott, we have the East Lincoln Mustangs coming up. Coach David Lubowitz, who is one of the new head football coaches. He's been actually in our school system for over 10, 11 years, I believe it is. Defensive coordinator when Coach Bias was there. Doing a great job with the Mustangs.
He is. You think about Coach Lubowitz and Coach Bias. I think Coach Lubowitz was Coach Bias' right-hand man. East Lincoln always played great defense, and they're doing it now with him being the head coach. So he's doing a wonderful job down there after a little slow start.
Yes, without a doubt.
They won 4 in a row, and so they're on a little bit of a roll and coming off a tremendous comeback win over North Lincoln, being down 31-7 at half, scored 4 unanswered touchdowns the second half, and pulled that thing out 35-31.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's huge. I mean, you know, Coach Lubowitz, whatever he said at halftime. Yeah, it must have worked.
Have you been in that situation before, Coach?
Well, yes, we were. We were down to Chase one of my first years, and we were down 31-3. Come back and beat them in the second half. We threw a double pass about 2 times. Trey Waters.
I like it. 2 times.
Yeah. Trey Waters is one of the big officials for the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, and Trey reminds me every time we see him. He said he was on that team, and he remembers the comments we made at halftime of that game. But that was a huge win for us, and that helped us go to the playoffs that year.
So East Lincoln is 3-0. They're 4-3 overall, 3-0 in the conference. They play Bandy's Friday night, Coach. 2-5. I know you know the coach from Bandy's real well too. Great guy. Like I said, they was down 31-7, and they was playing at East Lincoln, and they came back
at North
Lincoln. That's what I'm sorry, North Lincoln. And they came back and won the football game. And so Chase Jones had a great game. He was 9 for 15 passing for 181 yards, had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and rushed for 135 yards and 13 carries. That's your quarterback.
Yes, and that's a former Lincoln's son, Johnny Jones. Johnny Jones is his father. Yes, and Johnny played for Lincoln. Yes. He must have played very, very well in the second half. I think East made some turnovers in the first half. I think that win was huge for East Lincoln. And I know you'll talk about a little bit about playoffs, but I really think this year to make the playoffs, you're going to have to win 6 ball games.
I think so.
Well, that's what me and Ken was talking to Coach Lefford about Gibson there yesterday. Monday about the when we went over to present Natasha on with the First Federal Lincoln High School Student Athlete Football Player of the Week about winning. Do they have a chance? He said we do. We got to win out.
Yeah, you got to win 6. There's more teams in the 2A this year, so winning 5 is not going to get you in.
No. And that was huge. That was a huge win for East Lincoln because right now every win is so important on getting those wins so that you will be able to go to the playoffs, which in my opinion is a goal for every team.
Oh, absolutely.
That's huge.
It
is.
Everybody's equal.
Right.
There's 0-0. The season starts over. And that's what you shoot for. And if Lincoln can make it, or if East Lincoln can make it, that would be great. Because I don't think North Lincoln or West Lincoln. Well, can West Lincoln? Do they have a chance?
Well, they got to win some games. They're 3-4 overall. I mean, they've got to win 3 more games.
So,
but they got some tough teams they got to play.
They still got to play.
Well, they still got to play
Lincoln
and
East Lincoln.
Yeah, Lake Norman Charter. And probably Bandy's.
And Bandy's. Yeah. So they could beat Bandy's. They could beat Lake Norman Charter.
But
so that's 2 right there.
But they got to win 3.
But I would say this: I was talking to them about wins and losses today, and I think it's been a while since they beat Bandy's. Bandy's has kind of been a
West Lincoln.
And I think that's kind of been something in their. It's been a hiccup on their schedule.
Right.
But they can beat them.
Yeah, they can.
better. Yes.
They can. And I would pick West Lincoln on that game. I mean, if they had to go play, I would pick West Lincoln without a doubt. East Lincoln, I'm picking East Lincoln to play to beat Bandy's this Friday night.
Well,
I'd say
they should be favored.
Yes.
Bandy's they started out okay, but they hit a little tougher teams on the schedule, and they've lost 4 straight to Hickory, Maiden, Newton Conover, and then Lincoln last week.
One thing about Chase, Coach, he's improved from week 1.
Oh,
we
yes,
saw him at
yes,
week
yes,
1. We had him
yes.
at Ashbrook. That kid's improved every week. And I'm going to tell you, that's a testament to the coach.
Oh, yes.
He's made them better.
Yes. And that's what you want to do as a coach. You want to get better as the season goes on. You want to be peaking at the right time. You want to go play at the end of the season, and you want to go, and that's what you need to do.
Coach Kalonger's favorite words to me, I'll coach him up when they get here, Tim.
Well, you just got to get
That's his
better.
favorite word. I'll
Yeah,
coach him up.
Yeah. And that's what East Lincoln's doing right now.
Yeah, and he's Coach Lubowitz had mentioned that how he's seen Chase Jones not only grow and being productive on the football field, but leadership that he
Absolutely.
has. And he obviously had that leadership North Lincoln to lead that team back. And he threw that 65-yard touchdown with a minute and a half left, the winning touchdown. So he led that comeback.
I'll tell you who I'm impressed with is the freshman running back, Lucas
Oh,
McConnell.
yes.
That kid is lightning quick.
Yes.
Have you seen him play,
I
Coach?
saw him last year as an 8th grader, and he's a little guy, but he's fast.
He's tough,
he's
too.
fast. Yes,
Tough.
Yes.
Yeah, we call him Nails. Nails. Remember Lenny Dykstra for the Philadelphia Phillies? Nails. That's who he reminds me.
He's
That
kid.
tough kid.
He took a big hit against in the Lincoln game.
He did.
And he was down for a little while, but he eventually popped back up, and then he ran that one
60
touchdown,
some
60-some yards second half.
Absolutely. So, and I tell you, Ryan Match, you can't say enough about that young man, the leader of the football team as well.
Yeah.
Captain going to West Point, play football.
Right, yes.
Sensational. You know, we take our hats off. He was a winner the other week of the First Federal Lincoln County High School Student Athlete Football Player of the Week. His grandparents are all they live down in Florida. They listen to us all the shows and stuff like that we do. So we always like to say hello to the grandparents and the Matt's family down in Florida. And his mom and dad are first class people.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
well,
they are.
if he's going to go to academy,
He's the first.
Yes.
Yes.
They've done their research.
Yes, they have.
He is first class.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. No doubt about it.
And we've met him, and he came up and actually said he appreciated getting the nice things we said about his family and his grandparents. So he's a good kid.
Absolutely.
And I saw Bandy's play, and Bandy's got a big, strong running back. Now, one of the problems Bandy's had, I think they just got one of their key players back. I believe he'd been hurt for a couple of weeks, and I think he was a quarterback. But they've got a big, strong running back. Looks like he'll go about 225, 230. And
big boy.
Yes, he gave Lincoln some fits early, but Lincoln was able to kind of settle in and slow him down a little bit. But East Lincoln's defense, I think East Lincoln's defense is the best defense in the conference right now.
Hands down. Yes.
Newton Conover's pretty good, but East Lincoln I think is the best. I mean,
Yes.
they played the best, more consistent all year on
Yes.
defense.
Now, we know that West Lincoln lost one of their best football players, Nathan Hull, from my understanding. I don't know if it's an injury or what the situation is, but he was one of the first federal. I mean, he was a good football player, so we don't have a lot of information on that.
He's the kid that returned an interception for 100 yards early in the year.
Good.
And he's also, I think, their main receiver when they did pass. So
yes.
I think they're
so that hurts West Lincoln on that situation on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively too. So no doubt about it. All righty, Coach. We're going to go to break, and we'll be back, and we're going to talk some more about North Lincoln Knights. They take on the Maiden Blue Devils, some of your good friends up there.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County for over 75 years. Customer service is a priority at First Federal Savings Bank, where they want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, products, and services of larger banks with hometown people that you see throughout your community. They live here, they work here, and this community matters to the people at First Federal Savings Bank. First Federal Savings Bank has 4 convenient locations in downtown Lincoln, Boger City, Denver, and West Lincoln. Stop in and visit and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Ledford Gibson, head football coach, Lincoln High School, and you're listening to Tim and Ken on WLON, Lincoln County Football Show.
We're here live at the WLON radio station. It's Tim Johnson and Ken Link, and of course our good friend Mr. Scott Klonger, the former Lincoln High School football coach. And, Coach, we have the North Lincoln Knights taking on those Maiden Blue Devils. You know, and they have a good football team, just like the Lincoln Wolves and East Lincoln Mustangs. Every year they're always competing for that conference championship as well as the playoffs.
And I usually, about every week, me and Greg Pound get together and talk a little bit. And talk
He's
about
a good
football.
one.
Oh, yes. A former Lincoln player, former Lincoln coach. And we've talked. And I went and saw Maiden play this year. Went up and watched them play Bunker Hill. And they're very good. They really are. And like I said, they're undefeated. But he's very impressed with this North Lincoln crowd. He likes the quarterback.
Yes, I
and
do.
he says a running back at North Lincoln's a little bit bigger than you thought he was. I think he's about a 200-pound running back. And I'm going to tell you, a 200-pound running back's a good, strong kid.
Yeah, their strength offense, no doubt. They got some weapons at North Lincoln on the offensive side.
And I went down and talked to Coach Pack. I had to take him some equipment for one of the helmets, and I know he's pretty low right now with when you up 31-7 and you lose, but he had a positive attitude. He and I talked for a little while, and he understands. Hey, I told him, I said, Coach, what you've got to have, someone's got to make a stop. Someone's got to make a statement, and it's not a coach. It's got to be a player that says, hey, this can't happen no more. We're going to win this game when you get a lead like that, and somebody's going to have to step up, and I think they will eventually.
Yeah, like you said, Maiden, they're coming to are they playing at Maiden, or is it going to be?
I do not know.
Kenny, where you have them at, buddy? It's at North Lincoln. It's at North Lincoln. That's where we're at. We're at North Lincoln.
We're doing the game. We'll be there.
Yeah, you better be at North End.
We'll be there.
We'll
But
be
anyway, Maiden's coming to North Lincoln. That's going to be a good football. And I agree with what Greg said. The quarterback is really good. Reed McCory, who's having a great year I think he's probably all the way around the best quarterback in Lincoln County. I'd say he is.
Yes.
He's playing well. He's throwing the ball well. He's become a real good leader, a quiet leader for the North Lincoln Knights. And they got some kids who can catch the football. They got several, and they got a kid who can run it too, Crib kid. If they just make some stops on defense.
Yeah, the offense is not the issue. They got a lot of weapons. They got good receivers out there, and they got pretty good athletes. But on the defensive side, they just haven't been able to stop. And if you look at, they've been in every game, but they just can't pull them out.
They should have beat Fred T. Ford.
They led Fred T. Ford 19-9 at the half. End up losing that game 40-26. They lost to Alexander Central 40-36. Actually had a winning touchdown called back on a penalty with less than a minute to go.
And Alexander Central still undefeated.
They should have beat them. They should have beat them.
And went to Freedom and beat Freedom this week.
I mean, that was a good team, and they could have won that game.
Right. So, I mean,
and they lost to undefeated Bessemer City by only 5 points.
They've had some heartbreak, losses without a doubt.
They have.
Coach Pack has done a sensational job. I know Coach Conger turned me on to Coach Pack when he became a coach here. He said, you need to call this guy, Tim. He said, this guy's a great guy, great coach. Came from Matt Beam's offensive philosophy up there. And I think he runs pretty much the same offense, is he not, Coach?
I think he does. I think he's a little bit more north-south than Matt. I think Matt's still a little bit
zone.
And I think he's Coach Pack's a little bit more north-south. We'll throw the deep ball a little bit more.
He will, yeah.
But he's done it. It's not shown in wins and losses, but he's done a great job at North Lincoln.
Yes, he has.
He's got the fan support. He's got the kids believing. They just need a break.
I made a comment the other week. I think everybody, parents and everybody like that, fans, you need to show more support to your coaches, especially your head coach stuff. When you see them, like before the game, walk up to them and say, hey, introduce yourself to them, talk to them. These guys are great people. Leibowitz, Coach Pack, Coach Leffler Gibbs, we've known Leffler for years. He's you know him better than what we do.
Yes.
First-class individual.
Right. Yes,
and then, of course, Tommy Sane. I call him Tommy Sane.
Yeah.
West Lincoln Tommy Sane. You can't beat him.
Tom may be the nicest head coach,
one
of the nicest head coach I've ever met. I mean, he really is. Tom just he'll shake your hand anytime. He'll how you doing? All like that. But it is. Lincoln County's got a great group of coaches right now. And you mentioned said something about fans. They need to know this.
They do. They need to know that.
A coach probably puts in 60, 70 hours a week.
Oh,
I mean, all day. He's usually watching film on Saturday. They get together after. We used to get together after church and watch film. But you got to cut your grass. You got to line your fields off. You got to. There's more than coaching. Hey, if all I had to do is show up and coach, I'd still be coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not it. Yeah. You can't do that.
And they got families too. A lot.
Hey, man.
They got like you got a family.
Yes.
Coach Sane, of course, Coach Pack. They're young. Coach Pack and Lubitz, they're young coaches.
Yes.
You know, and you know, I mean, that takes time away from your family when you have to go in and sit down and do things. You know, when preparing for other teams and stuff like that. You know, especially the hours, like you said, that you put in.
Every good coach has somebody behind them, and that's a good wife.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, because my wife raised my kids for the first 6-7 years, and that's what's going on right now with all these coaches. Their wives are doing their job. And they're
so they're the MVP.
Yes,
they are the
they
MVP.
Are, because I'm going to tell you something. It's a very difficult thing.
Yeah, you're right about that. So so we got to see West Lincoln. They are taking on Bandy's.
Yes.
Okay, so I got West Lincoln on that.
No, West
Lincoln. What Lincoln? West Lincoln, Lincoln. I got
the games this week. West Lincoln and Lincoln. Up at West Lincoln.
Right, at West Lincoln. So is that West?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's at West. Down to East Lincoln, we got Bandy's coming into East Lincoln, and we've got Maiden coming down to North Lincoln. And the other game is Newton Conover and Lake Norman Charter.
Yes.
Which is probably a mismatch there.
Right. So, that's probably a 40-point spread.
So there's
right
your
there.
4 games. Coach Clemens and I are just looking at the standings here, Tim, and there's probably several teams here probably really a long shot to try to get to the playoffs. North Lincoln, Lake Norman Charter, and Bandy's, but then you got Lincoln, West Lincoln, and of course Newton Conover and Maiden are the 4 teams that maybe get there.
Yes. You know, you look at it already. Your Maiden, your Newton Conover are already basically qualified.
Yes,
with
they
wins.
are. Yeah.
And East Lincoln has 4 wins and with some winnable games in front of them.
Yep.
So I see that. I think Lincoln's going to have to win out. I think West Lincoln's going to have to almost win out, and then you look at the other crowd. You know, they're really behind 8 ball right now on making the playoffs.
All righty, Coach. Coach Scott Conger in the house with us tonight. We'll be at North Lincoln High School, Kent and Tim Johnson. So, Coach, thank you for coming by.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, guys.
Anytime, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Enjoy listening to you.
You've been listening to First Federal Lincoln County High School Football Show. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you here next Friday.
21st night of September, lovers changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the crowd.